Hello, I'm 5th District Supervisor Joe Baca Jr., and we're having our Mayor Spotlight. We had the opportunity to highlight Mayor Navarro of Colton, Mayor Tran of San Bernardino. Now we're here with the Mayor for the City of Rialto, Mayor Joe Baca Sr. We're just so proud of his service. Yeah, Mayor Baca, you want to tell us a bit about your background, just so the community gets to know a little more of who you are, and tell us about, your background and yourself and your family.
Well, thank you very much. I come from a family of 15. I'm actually the 15th child, born in Belen, New Mexico, raised in Barstow. After graduating from Barstow High School, went into the military, served with 101st, 82nd Airborne. And after getting out of the military, I decided to go on to a community college, get an education, further my education. I know my parents were really upset because I had a pretty good job working at Santa Fe, because everybody usually worked at Santa Fe. And I gave up that job to say I'm going to pursue my education. So I pursued my education, got my A degree, went on and got my BA degree, became a high school counselor at a university, and then worked in the private sector for a while. And then after that, I was convinced to run for San Bernardino Community College Board, became a trustee member. After that, they convinced me to run for the state assembly. I ran for the state assembly, won that. Of course, not the first time. I didn't stay down. Sure. And this is a message to individuals that want to get into political office. You know what? You may fall down. You may not win the first time. You may not win the second time. But the third time was a charm for me. And I ended up winning, became a state assemblyman. I then ran for the Senate, became a state senator, and ran for the United States Congress, then came back. And after retirement for a while, I decided to run for city council and then mayor. But I'm very proud to have been married and have been married for 57 years to Barbara Baca, and I have 4 children. The first child is Joe Baca Jr.
I heard of it.
Second one is Jeremy, and then I have Natalie Baca, and then Jennifer Baca. So I have 4 in my family, and then I have 7 grandchildren and 8 great-grandchildren.
Mayor Baca, tell us why, after all these years of service, why did you decide to come back and become the mayor of Rialto? Why was that important for you?
I live in the city. I lived there since 1972. And being and seeing the city, and then being at the national level, the state level, I came back and I says, you know what, I'd like to take the city of Rialto to another level. Be futuristic in terms of developing the city itself, that for the next generation, not for the generation that exists today, but for the next generation. And I wanted to put that kind of thinking into the mentality of the other city council members as we move the city forward. And it takes a cooperative effort with all of them, looking at my personal experience, both at the state level and the federal level, and then now at the city level. I wish probably I would have started at the local level. I would have known a lot about the mandates that are put on local government. And understanding that better, I think, that we can move the city forward. And that's basically why I decided to go back and run at the local level, because I felt that I needed to make the city a lot better than what it is today and look towards the next generation that will be able to enjoy it. But you can't do that unless you start thinking outside the box and think about the future of the next generation. What do they want to live like? What do they want to have in the city? What do they want to enjoy for all levels, all the way from youth to our seniors to individuals that just want to enjoy the city of Rialto?
It's a great answer. You bring a wealth of knowledge and experience, especially with all your legislative experience. Now you're coming back at the local level. One of the things you've always been a champion for is the underserved community and underserved youth. How do you think you've brought some of that perspective to the city of Rialto?
Well, thank you. I've always been for the poor and the disadvantaged at every level. And I think that we have a responsibility towards every individual in the community. It's not just about the haves. It's about everyone in the community and looking at what needs to be done at all levels. And I think my experience both at the state level and at the national level with legislation that I've carried and have done in those areas, I felt that we can do the same thing in terms of the kind of services that we provide in the city of Rialto. What do we have for our youth in the area? And Supervisor, you've been a city council member and and a state assemblyman in the area, and you've done an awful lot with youth in the city of Rialto, the Frisbee Park. I mean, your development and doing that at that local level, dealing with a lot of youth, giving them an opportunity to enjoy. It's really one of the best parks in the area. We have 4 really nice parks in the city of Rialto, but they need to be added. And I think that's one of the things that I wanted to do in terms of not only looking at our youth, but looking at our seniors too as well, the kind of programs that we have for our seniors. I'd like to see an amphitheater being built, so we can have concerts, so we can bring people into the area. We basically have to go outside the area if we want to have that kind of entertainment. And then, for a lot of our youth, I know that we'll talk a little bit more about it because you've been very involved in a lot with our youth, and I appreciate all that you have done for the city of Rialto.
No, I appreciate that, and we appreciate your service. We know that you served 2 years as a councilman, now coming up on 2 years as a mayor. Talk about some of the things that the community can look forward, maybe some of the initiatives you work on or things to come with the city of Rialto.
This park, it'll be the first of its kind that will be built in the city of Rialto. There's no others that are being done in the surrounding area. And an all-inclusive park is a park that'll be available for kids with disability and autism. That means any regular kid can utilize the park, plus the kids that have any kind of a handicap, whether it's disability of some form or autism. They no longer have to sit with their parents on the side watching all the other regular kids utilize the playground. Now they'll be able to utilize it just like any other normal kid. The playground that'll be there, a merry-go-round that'll be there, the monkey bar that'll be there, the different kind of equipment that'll be there for them to utilize. I think it's positive because now the city of Rialto is meeting the needs of special need kids in the city. And this is a plus for the city of Rialto to know that it's moving forward, it's on the rise, and it's providing assistance to all kids, regular kids, kids with disability, kids with autism. And then another example that we're doing is we now have a veteran memorial that'll be done in the city of Rialto. We've never had a memorial that'll be done, but then there's other projects that I feel that we need to do. I'd like to see a training tower for our firefighters. We basically have to go outside and get the training. Why do we have to go outside of Rialto when we should be able to provide that training as we look at the growth and development in the city of Rialto? And Rialto is growing. It's a city on the rise. And in order to get the things that we need for a city on the rise, well, you've got to have the training for our firefighters. I'm very proud of the fact that we have a brand new police station too as well. Public safety is at the top of my list in terms of doing whatever we can, because when you have good public safety, both in police and fire, businesses want to come into the city. They say, you know what, I feel safe going there. The community feels safe. There's people that want to move into the city. We have new development and housing that is done at Lenars, at River Ranch, in that area. There's more homes that are going to be built in the area. There's a lot that can be done, but it takes cooperative effort. I'd also like to see the possibility of having an expansion of a community college in the city of Rialto. Why should we have to look at other communities, have a community college, and we don't have an extension in the city of Rialto? And hopefully we can do that as well.
Well, it sounds like you have a great vision of things you would like to see in the Rialto, but it looks like also you've got initiatives that are in the works. You talked about the Veterans Memorial, which is in the works. You talked about the all-inclusive playground. You also talked about the new police station, which has happened. These are great initiatives and something that Rialto residents, but not just Rialto residents, the county of San Bernardino could be proud of. But talk about also, as we wrap things up, what's the importance of having good relationships with either the county of San Bernardino and our local legislators? Why is that important to the city of Rialto?
If you're going to get anything done, you have to have a relationship with those individuals that can provide assistance. And having the relationships with the county supervisors, and I'm very fortunate that I have a great relationship with the 5th District Supervisor, but it's not just the 5th District, but the county itself, because it takes the rest of the body to approve whatever gets done in the city. So having that kind of relationship is very important. The relationship with the state legislators, a relationship with the federal level, because you're talking about grants and funding that can't come back to the area. If you don't have that kind of relationship, you're not going to get the kind of funding. I can't come to a supervisor and say, all right, you know what, I want this project in the city of Rialto. But if I have no relationship, do you think that supervisor is really going to pay attention to me? No, that supervisor will put it on the list, and maybe it'll be on the bottom of the list. But if you have a good relationships, you may be moving up to the top. So I know that from my experience, both at the federal level and the state level. And now I've learned that at the local level. You got to have a good relationship at all levels. If not, then you're going to be missing out on funding that could be coming back to the city, which means that you don't have to spend all of your money from the general funds on projects. You can get some of that additional monies that can come either from the county, from the state, or the federal, or some other entities that can help provide the kind of assistance. These are only small things we have. I'd also like to mention we have a new hotel that just opened up not too long ago, Best Western Hotel that just opened up. We have another hotel that's coming up called the Marriott Fairfield. That's going to be done in the area. We have a new sushi restaurant that's going to be opening up pretty soon. But we also need additional restaurants in the area. And we need a grocery store in the north end of Rialto as part of my project that I foresee that I'd like to see done in terms of the future. Besides the amphitheater, besides the revitalization of downtown that needs to be done, I'd also like to see a new city hall. I'm the kind of guy that can say, what is the best way to do it and be cost effective? And we have a lot of empty warehouses. And I'm saying, why can't we convert one of the empty warehouses near our area and convert that into a city hall, be cost effective, move them all together. And then this way we can look at expanding the Johnson Center that we need in the area. And then also look at some of that money that can also be utilized in building additional soccer fields in the city of Rialto that is very much needed. And I also want to, if I get the chance, Supervisor, I want to thank you for what you did for Birdsall, Little League, and the snack bar in that area. Thank you very much for your assistance in that area. We both happened to be there this weekend and saw the improvements of that snack bar that's going to be available for a lot of other individuals. And then you've given me some other ideas that I won't share now because somebody else may take those ideas and want to put them in their area.
Well, good. Well, thank you, Mayor Baca, for your commitment, first of all, your vision, and it sounds like you're moving the needle, and people in Rialto are very, very happy with your leadership and the great things that's going on. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in for our Mayor Spotlight. We're here with Mayor Joe Baca Sr. of Rialto. We appreciate you tuning in and look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much, Mayor Baca.
Thank you, Supervisor Joe Baca.